Hey, wow, you came back for episode number 2, Dr. Rob Pediatrics, the 7 questions you should always ask at Teen Well Visits. I appreciate that you came back. And our sponsors for this second episode are Jane Austen and Speed Racer.
Go Speed Racer, go Speed Racer.
Together at last. That's only because, they don't make a George Eliot action figure.
Go Speed Racer, go!
So now we come to question number 2. Deja, what time do you get up on school days and what time do you get up on the weekends? Now, sleep is everything. And this one question really gets to the heart of teen sleep habits. Poor sleep habits increase anxiety, increase depression, make kids more susceptible to illness, has huge effects on school performance and on the risk of teen car crashes. We all know that once kids hit teenage years, that their internal clock changes. They just can't go to sleep as earlier, and they need to sleep a little bit later. That's why high school should start at around 8:30, no earlier than 8:30 in the morning, but that's been a battle nationwide to change that. But many teens think that they can just bank their sleep, that they can sleep in on the weekends really late and recharge their batteries of sleep and then have more energy during the week, but it just does not work that way. These kids also are going to bed later on Friday and Saturday nights because they know they can, because they're sleeping in so much on Saturday and Sunday morning. But when they sleep in really late on the weekends, they're not banking sleep, they're shifting sleep in their brain later. And often they're getting up at 10, 11, 12, 1, frickin' 2 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 to 6 hours later than they get up when they get up for school during the week. So when they get up on Sunday at noon or 2, and then on Monday morning they get up at 7 a.m., it feels to their brain like they're getting up at 2 or 2:30 in the morning. And they're dead boy and dead girl walking on Monday morning, and that bleeds into Tuesday, that bleeds into Wednesday. They have social jet lag. It's like every Sunday night they're flying from LA to Philly, and it's not good. When you test these kids out on Monday mornings, they test out like having inattentive ADHD. And oh my gosh, if some of these kids already have ADHD, it's ADHD on steroids. All the concern in the world is not going to help them pay attention. I do talk to my kids with ADHD that sleep hygiene really is much more important to them than to their friends. And for a lot of these kids, they just can't do sleepovers. They will just wreck them. And so teens should never sleep in the weekends more than 60 minutes. Okay, occasionally 90 minutes, but they really shouldn't sleep in more than that on the weekends. And that especially goes for college kids who may have an 8 a.m. class one day and the next day their first class is 1. They can't just keep ping-ponging back. They have to be consistent with when they get up. And certainly if they're doing that all summer vacation, that they're going to bed late and they're getting up really late, let's say they're going to bed at 3 in the morning and they're getting up at 11 o'clock the next day. I mean, that's not great, but it's consistent, and so it's not as bad as it could be. But for those kids, when school's starting late August, September, they need to shift their clock back. And some of them are so bad that they need to just pull an all-nighter. Some can keep getting up a little bit earlier, but some they just need to pull an all-nighter. One little trick is they can go camping. If they go camping for a few days before school starts, it will shift their clock. They'll start to go to bed earlier, they'll start to get up earlier, and that's a way to kind of help with the sleep habits before the new school year starts. And I mentioned about video games, as we touched on in the cell phone question, no screens in the bedroom, and especially not any screens on the bed. It's not a God-given right for teenagers to be on Wi-Fi after midnight. Now, sometimes I finish my discussion of sleep by mentioning naps. Healthy teenagers should never take regular naps. That's for grandpa. It's not so great for grandpa either, and it really messes up with teen sleep habits. I often find teen nappers have terrible sleep habits and either do no exercise or they're over-exercised or over-scheduled. taking regular naps is a red flag for sleep issues, and also mood and other mental health disorders, and rarely for more organic type issues. When I talk about sleep, and we all talk about snoring, if there's heavy snoring, and we think about obstructive sleep apnea, and when there's really deep-seated sleep issues, you really got to early on consider getting a sleep study. Now, teens who have trouble falling asleep sometimes do well, besides good sleep habits and getting away from screens, with using a white noise machine or a fan. Some of them who wake up a lot during the night might do well with a silky sleep mask, the kind where the eyes bulge out and don't touch their eyelids. It's a cheap, non-medication way to really help sleep, and it can really help. The best thing before you go to sleep is to read. But one tip is, if you're going to read before you go to bed, prop yourself up. Don't read laying down. Prop yourself up at the end of reading when you're ready to go to sleep, then lay flat, and you can then drift off into sleep. Now, I think as most pediatricians, don't like to get into medication for sleep. We like to get to the root cause. But if we do think that some medication can help, I really like to stay away from the diphenhydramine, Benadryl type medications and go more to, if I have to, something like over-the-counter melatonin, a few milligrams before they go to sleep. Now, melatonin is not a sleeping pill. It doesn't knock you out. You take it an hour before, and if then you're ready, you'll drift off to sleep. If you take melatonin and then you play Fortnite, you ain't gonna fall asleep. Sometimes we use prescription medications, clonidine, trazodone. There could be some indications to do that, but we really like to get to the root cause of what's causing the sleep issues, not just medicated in a young person long term. All right, that's everything on question number 2 on sleep. I hope some people found this educational and enjoyable, and we'll be back soon with question number 3. Good night.